In this video we're going to be installing a budget boost from TeraFlex on Jason's 2012 Wrangler Unlimited. Here we go.
Looking forward to it.
Lift the vehicle and support it under the frame with jack stands. Make sure that the axle will drop far enough to remove and install the coil springs. To start, remove the track bar bolts for both the front and rear axles. Loosen all the control arm bolts using a 21mm socket. Do not remove the arm bolts. Remove the shocks using an 18mm socket and wrench for the axle side bolt, and a 16mm socket for the frame side. Remove the sway bar links using an 18mm socket and wrench. Make sure to put them aside for use in the front of the vehicle. Next, remove the clips that secure the ABS wiring harness to the upper control arm mount. Disconnect the brake line at the frame using a 10mm socket. Do not disconnect the brake lines from the calipers. Next, install the rear brake line extensions provided in the kit. Remove and discard the bracket that holds the park brake cables to the body using a 10mm deep well socket. Carefully lower the rear axle far enough to remove the rear springs. Be careful not to let the coils fall out as you lower the axle. To install the new rear track bar drop-down bracket, you will need to use the template found in the instructions to mark and drill the 3/8 hole needed for proper installation. Install your new track bar drop-down bracket using a 14mm bolt, washer, and nut. Place the sleeve provided inside the bracket to prevent crushing the bracket. Now install the track bar into the new bracket. Torque the outside bolt to 45 foot-pounds and torque the bolt with the sleeve to 125 foot-pounds. Do not torque the track bar until the vehicle is on the ground. Install the factory isolator onto the new TeraFlex rear spacer. Install the new spacer onto the frame. You should feel or hear a popping, and the spacer should stay hanging from the frame. Reinstall the factory springs. Install the new rear sway bar links on the inside of the sway bar and the inside of the axle bracket. Use the factory bolt on the axle side with the nut on the outside so excess threads will not interfere with the shock. Install the new rear bump stop spacer by placing the spacer on the axle pad, lining up the holes with the overhanging part of the pad facing forward. Now install the new TeraFlex shocks. Remove the jack from under the axle. Rear installation is now complete.